Oh,
Hello. Good
it's
evening.
over.
Is this thing on?
that, was, that was like the longest intro ever.
That really was.
I needed extra time to do something, so I was like, "Oh, I'll just hit this
We
one."
need like a happy medium in between those.
Yeah, because I was like, okay. Oh, okay. It's still going.
Yes.
Still going.
How's it going? How are you guys?
I'm good.
Okay,
Just okay?
I think so.
Did you get windblown like Joe and I did? I think we
There
still
was
have
a lot
like
of
dirt
rain
in our
today.
teeth.
There was
My
a lot of rain
hair
today.
almost moved today. It was crazy. That's how windy it was. I was like,
You should
what
have
in the
seen mine.
world?
Mine was like this. I
You had
look like a
Beyonce hair
tumbleweed.
the whole time?
Yes. Who is this?
And look where they're watching from.
Hey, Joval. Did I say that
Hello,
right? I
Javal.
can't remember.
Welcome.
Let me know, okay?
Yeah, let us know if you said that
And
right.
you're
because
from LinkedIn. Hi.
That's
this-
crazy.
Who's I see your acquaintance, Jamie?
Person. I do know of him.
Oh, we know of you, Javal.
Yeah. Not in a bad way.
No,
Not in a bad way. I think we both, if I know the name properly, he and I are in a cybersecurity program together.
Oh.
Cyber. They're part of Cyberdyne.
We're turning into. I have a little group that I've dubbed Cyber Gangsters, so he's probably a fellow cyber gangster in training.
Oh,
One of
I want
those
to be a cyber gangster.
Cyber gangsters.
We all do.
I want to throw cyber gangster signs.
That is awesome. I triple dog dare
Right?
you.
Let's think of one that we can throw. What would be a good one?
IT. There we go.
How
Jamie's
about-
over there. That was like a crip sign, sir.
Oh, they already took that.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
he threw
They
up
took
a
it.
C.
They already did that. See?
Oh, here we go. We can just be like, wait, so I can get in the camera. Because like a gun, like gangster gun, right?
Uh-huh. Okay. All right.
Like guns up,
Hmm.
but cyber gangsters.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
Let's keep thinking about this.
Let's
thought.
stick a
I
pin in
already
it.
thought of one.
Come back to it.
We'll come back to that great
Come back to
idea.
that one. Because yeah,
He said
you know.
yes.
Oh, he likes it. See?
SR, PCI, DSS in the house. Doesn't Usher have a song like that?
Wow.
US,
He's a
18.
senior PCI DSS.
He put all of that out there like that. That's crazy. That is
Well,
crazy.
Javal, I'm Dandy and I'm HBIC. Nice to meet you. Welcome.
I'm Joe Banana Anna, and I'm the Ed Filipino in charge,
Thank
or
you.
HFIC.
Thank
And
you.
yes,
Again.
the F is correct. He's Filipino. Yeah.
I appreciate being the trendsetter and then others following. Because I only took it from, what was the movie?
Actually,
No.
It was Lean on Me, right?
Javal through his initials.
I think that's where it came from. Was Lean on Me? No, not Lean on Me.
No, it was.
Can you call something yours if you don't even know where it
No,
came
it was
from?
Lean on Me.
It was.
Yeah, Joe Clark. Joe Clark.
Oh
Lean on
yeah.
Me.
Yeah. You're right.
Clark.
Yeah, so
Mr. Clark.
He
Yep.
passionately calls himself the HNIC. So we were like, oh, okay, then I'll be the head Mexican in charge here.
Right.
Take that.
Exactly.
So
And I'll be the head bench in charge here.
did you leave the mic in your room?
Yeah, what? Can you
I was
not
just
hear me?
curious. No, we can. It just doesn't sound like normal. Everyone, I'm Jaime Pina, by the way. I know these guys announced themselves, or you can call me J Pineapples. And what did
Or
Josh say?
Jamie.
Oh, I'm the head Mexican. That's what I said. Okay.
Yes.
I feel like y'all were doing these introductions, and I was like, wait, I didn't do an introduction.
We only did it for Javal because he's new here. We've never
Yeah, and
seen
I
him
like that,
before.
though. I actually never
And
thought
I
about
like
that.
that he introduced himself as senior.
Right?
Mhm.
So in our 3 years of doing this, I don't know that we ever have officially done like introductions at the beginning of any of our episodes.
We haven't.
Are you
I
sure?
only did it for Javal.
I think Javal needs to learn a little bit more about us and who we are. That'll take up a.
Oh, Charles would also like to introduce you as he is Mr. THC.
Look, I will claim that happily because I live in Illinois and there's nothing wrong with that here. Okay, so
Nothing wrong with that.
nothing.
It's nothing wrong wherever you're at. Actually,
It's what?
it's nothing wrong wherever anyone is at.
I mean, I'm not gonna dog anyone. I'll just be like, just unless you're underage, then I'll dog you there, right?
Well, that was ageist.
So can I let y'all know something
Yes, please.
for today?
If it's fun.
The jet officially has a job. A JOB.
What?
What's he doing?
That is crazy.
He works out at this tennis place. So he will be helping cleaning the courts and stuff like that. He's not getting paid cash. He's getting paid in trade. So he gets tennis lessons in trade.
Oh,
Because
okay.
tennis lessons are expensive, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. And today he had his first
CPJ.
class. Hey, CPJ. He had his first class today.
Mhm.
And he said at the end, he's like, that's the most coaching that I've received, even going to school in his tennis class. So I think it's going to be really worth it. So,
So
that's
that
awesome. Good for
gives to
him.
the whole adage of like you pay for what you get sometimes, right?
mhm.
And I know it's challenging, right? So, and there's multiple facets to it, right? It costs extra. How many people have disposable income where they can do things? How many people have the opportunity to find a coach that, I'll share for like my little one. We had her in a
Hey, Joanne.
horse. Hey, Joanne. We had her, because my youngest daughter, she wants to become an equestrian, right? So someone who rides horses. A football player plays football and equestrian does horses. So the horse shows and all that other jazz. We had her just signed up at some place that was kind of like her introductory thing. It wasn't super expensive. It was a little costly, but not super expensive. But she did it, and then she wanted to do more, and then we
Sylvia
eventually
Jenny.
found her hey Sylvia. I don't know who that is, but we
met her through Joe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Joe's
okay.
connection.
Gotcha. So then we got her, like another level coach, right? And that, I mean, the game was upped when we went to her, and then we went to multiple ones. Well, just this previous weekend, we upgraded again, right? And so we had to cancel or stop seeing her other coaches and went with this coach that she's been seeing because she finally gotten. Oh, actually, it's kind of like similar to you, Joe. So she got into a work study program on a ranch.
Oh,
and
nice.
so she goes there on the weekends from like 9 to 4, 9 to 5, almost something like that, right? Guys, like I'm so proud of her because she goes there and it is work. She's
It's
got her
Walls to the
boots.
wall work.
She's
got to do things.
hay and poop and cleaning out the stalls and taking the horses out and all this. Joe's soon to be Mr. 48.
I didn't want to
His
interrupt your
second
story. I
time.
just needed to pop that.
Yeah, and so
48 states.
So she's doing legit work,
Sucker.
which is so cool because she comes home and she's tired, and I'm like,
I feel like farm work builds character.
I agree with you.
Mhm.
And so she gets a lot of nice perks there, doing the work study with it, and but yeah.
Does
It's
she get a
pretty awesome.
horse?
So her birthday's next week.
She gets a horse. Oh my god,
Getting a horse.
she's getting a horse.
Are you going to name him Mr.
She
Ed?
is like a
No, it's hers.
Clydesdale. Is she gonna get?
No,
a
my
Clydesdale?
God, no, those don't. Those
Clydesdale,
aren't
that'd
show
be
horses.
awesome.
But I get
You'd be a
the
lot cooler if she got a Clydesdale. Is she gonna
We
get an
think she
Arabian
was.
horse?
no, Sandy.
No.
Let's bring it. Let's
Those
switch
are
over,
like
okay?
Tens
Those
of
are like,
thousands of dollars.
more
Or
like
even
hundreds
like
of thousands. Those
yeah.
are hundreds of
She gonna
thousands.
get Seabiscuit's daughter?
Now you're in the right range. No, but
Seabiscuit's daughter's girlfriend's roommate's cousin's
Right.
twice
Goldfish
removed
dad?
twice removed.
brother. No, so her birthday's next week, and her party's we're celebrating her party on the weekend next weekend, or not this
Oh my
coming
gosh,
weekend. The
there's
weekend
a song
after.
playing in my ear. It's like Bala shot caught. It's so weird.
So I mean, it is definitely a significant chunk. I'll put it that way, and I don't want to spend it. I don't want to spend it, but
That's a Clydesdale. So
kind of like what you were saying, Joe. Like
An
for Sandy,
alopecia.
how you were saying, like it builds character, right? Like,
Yeah.
that was the other thought. I didn't want to do this. I have not been a fan of wanting to do it, but the only reason I'm going through with it is because her reason for wanting to do it is because she can be in shows, And I
And you
believe
can make money in shows.
well, that too, but being as young as she is, I think about the character it'll develop in
Right.
her, and I think that's really important. And it kind of going back to the first point, Joe's like, so you kind of getting what you pay for, and it's like it's expensive, but I do think that the opportunities it brings her not just like monetist or money type opportunities, but like just building her character because she's got to do a lot. Like it's a lot. It's not just like I get a horse and that's it. Like you got to be there 3 nights a week. You got to feed it. You got to be there through the whole year. You've got to clean it. You've got to take care of the
We have a
hooves.
name suggestion. You can call it Mr.
Hush
THC.
your mouth. I am not John.
Plus pay
golly.
for stable and feed.
Yeah, so all that's going to be included in it and stuff. But we're only doing a half lease, so we're not going to do a full lease because we're not that rich.
Wait, come again. So you don't get to own, you're renting it?
Oh
You
yeah,
rent
yeah,
to
yeah.
own?
I have no, yeah, not doing an owning. thing.
One time I did rent to own couches. That was a long time ago. Huge mistake.
It's pretty similar, Sandy. Pretty
It's kind
similar.
of close. I get where you're coming from. Oh, that was funny.
It's pretty similar. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the cool thing is he doesn't like really work all the time, but he'll be going to tennis practice all the time. So, and yeah, and of course the first day that he starts, they call it Workout Wednesday, so they do a lot more cardio than they usually do. So his little butt was running. I was
Yeah.
like, God damn, run.
Is he tired too? Did he come home already, or is he still there?
He's tired. He's tired. No.
Oh, okay.
And it's like from 5:30 to 7, so it's an hour and a half of some good work. So
Nice.
you know,
Well, awesome. Good for him.
Yeah.
so that was good for him today. And then my drama about finding the document that I needed.
Oh, yes.
I
Jamie
didn't know
and
if you were
I
gonna
talked
bring that
about
up
you
tonight.
today.
Yeah, we were. I don't know if you were going to bring that up or not. So I was like,
I just thought it was funny. So I'm trying to get this document, and there's a place in the Philippines that you have to call, and you have to call, and so they don't open until 6 p.m. our time, which is 8 a.m. their time. So I call. I'm trying to call. Bloop, 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 bloop. Your call did not go through as dialed. I'm like, what the crap? Your call cannot be completed. I'm like, oh, I have to add international calling to my phone plan.
No, why don't you just download WhatsApp?
I should have done that, but I did not do that.
So hold on, there's a song coming in. Bala.
So there's an extra $10 that's added to my account. And so he only charges you $10 if you use it. So it's $10 per day if you use it. So I've only used it yesterday. Anyways, to the point, I'm calling the phone number. Somebody actually answers. I'm like, do you speak English? Because I brought my daughter's boyfriend over just in case that they didn't speak it. And he's like, yes. And then I told him what I need. And he's like, okay, let me transfer you to this department. So he transfers me to this department, and they never answer. I let that thing ring for like 7-8 minutes. Like, I'm like, and I'm talking to my daughter's boyfriend.
And that lady right there next to the phone, she's like this.
She's like, it's only 8:30. I don't answer the phone until 9.
I didn't even have breakfast yet.
You're right. Exactly.
When I used to support the Philippines and I'd get calls from over there, people would be like, yeah, my system's not working. We got to get you up and running because we need you back on the floor kind of situation. And they'd put their phone down and or while they were talking, and you'd just be there like, doo-doo-doo. And then all of a sudden the loudest chickens would just start doing their thing. And you'd be like, what? And I'm not saying like, like you heard on the radio. I mean, like it was the chicken sounded like they were the customer. That's how close. And I'd be like,
were they eating the chickens while you were on hold?
I was like, did they make you sit out with the chickens for work? Like how?
That's remote work right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you got a phone and an internet connection, high speed. So it's like, whoa.
So I gave up on that phone number.
Okay.
So there's a whole list of these places. And so I'm going down the list, and the one in the particular city that I need, I start with that one because, logic. Why would you not start with the city you need?
Yeah.
Nobody answered. It rang for like 30 times, never answered. So I just go down the list. I'm like, let's try this city. Let's try this city. Let's try this city. Let's try this city.
Wow, man.
How many cities are in the Philippines?
I
For crying
know,
out
right?
loud.
So, anyways, the fifth city, somebody actually answers. And then I go, "Do you speak English?" And he's like, "Oh, just a little bit." And my dumbass, I'm like, "Oh, just a little bit." And I was like,
I know, Joe. I know. I've done that
Y'all,
before.
shame on you. Shame on you.
We can't help it that we try to be
right. And I was like, "Oh crap! I hope he didn't hear that." Anyways, he understood me enough to give me the information. That's all I needed. I just like, "Hey, this is what I need from you." And he's like, "Okay, blah blah
Beach
blah."
American.
And then he asked me all the questions in English. I did have to ask him like a couple times. Say that again. A little slower.
Yeah.
So, but he was able to give me all the information I needed. It was so amazing. And I was telling my daughter's boyfriend, I was just like, dude, that's all I wanted. I just needed to find somebody at a computer that actually gave two shits. That's all I was looking for.
So, are you going to be able to get your document now, or?
I am. I've already ordered it.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah. So the document, the thing about the document was that it required my information, and then this other information about my mom that I had no idea. So I found out what my mom's name was.
Oh,
And
how
so-
cool is that?
Yeah, it's so crazy. And I was
What do you
like,
mean?
look it up on
Oh,
Facebook.
your birth mother.
my birth mother's.
This,
Ah.
let me slap you.
I was like, well, how would he not know about his mom? She's still here. She's still alive.
slow motion.
Yeah.
At least I feel
Does she
like
have a
I'm
cool
in the place
name?
of peers.
It does have a cool name. It's Apollonia.
Shut the
Like
front
our
door.
grandmother, like our
Yes,
grandmother.
yes, exactly.
How cool.
Yeah, it was so crazy because when I said the name, the producer said, "Oh wow, that's the name of our grandmother." I was like,
That's like making me emotional. I don't know why.
"You're right." So it was cool, and I found some other things that I'll tell y'all about later, but because I kind of don't want to share all that stuff. But
An after show.
in the after show, but it was really. I felt like a huge load was let off my shoulders because I had no idea. And so it was just.
Oh, I'm interested in knowing this stuff
I
now.
know.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it was
hurry
so
up, show.
crazy.
Let's
Yeah.
just pause the show. Let's just play that video at the beginning again, and then we can all just
Yes.
hop on a
We'll put it
Facebook
on loop.
Messenger call.
But yeah, it was, man, I found out so much stuff yesterday. It was just amazing, and I was like crazy. And we were kind of talking about it today at the office, and we found, just about how adopted kids feel like there's this hole in their heart, like they're missing something. And I have never felt that. And so it's you have to show up, everyone. Well, there's only 5 of y'all. So, right.
There was that one season we had after shows. Pretty cool.
The after show, yeah, that was pretty cool. But it's just funny because even my daughter's boyfriend, he asked me, it's like, now that you got this information, do you think you'd ever want to go to the Philippines? And I'm like, it's on my list, but it's not like top priority. It's not even like in the top 10 things that I want to do. And so it's just funny how when people have that feeling when they're adopted, and I was like, I've never had that feeling. So like Chris, or the producer, used to work in adoptions at CPS or whatever. And she'd ask me, he's like, do you ever feel like this? I'm like, no. I was like,
wait
I was
a
like,
second. No, wait, it's gas. Never mind.
right. Yeah. I was like, I would not make it good. I couldn't speak to people. I couldn't speak to those adopted people and give them any type of empathy or anything, because I'm like, just get over it.
The crazy part is like, we want to know more than you do.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so
it's
you got a lot of questions.
Like, you want to know more, and the producer wants to know more, and it's just crazy how many more people
When they do
I think
that.
that
So,
speaks to
Joanne,
our nosiness. Hey, how did that happen, Joe? I mean, you needed a document. I'm confused. Sorry if I missed it. Is birth
There
mom
we go.
still living?
see, those are
And did I
things
miss
that
something?
I don't know. So, because I've been kind of cryptic with what I've been asking for, it's just one
I
of
don't think
those
you need
things.
to say all that. I don't think most people know something
Right.
doesn't look like the other when you go to Joe's family reunion.
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
I think that's what they're missing, Joe.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I am the sole banana Oreo cookie in the family.
Oh, you didn't say. I thought you were saying soul air. I'm like,
No,
yes, cousin.
no, exactly. Oh man, it's so fun. And so just taking that deep dive into, my history and stuff like that, because it's never really big anything. Um, for those that are new, I am adopted, so it's just I needed certain documents to take care of some stuff. So it's just kind of funny how those when because I wasn't really looking for anything until just recently, and now to kind of learn some of this information is just kind of crazy.
So, do you feel
So
like
excited.
2023 is going to be the
Send me
year that
names.
Joe finds his people,
People, I don't know. I don't know.
his
It,
ancestors?
Joe might not, but Sandy will if Joe gives me the information.
You're right, exactly.
I'll be on that shit real quick.
Well, it's funny because I asked the producer because once she heard my birth mother's name, I was like, I thought she'd be like hunting it down like right away because she was on the sofa while we were at the table,
And she
and
did.
she did look for it. So, but she didn't find anything. So it's just
You just need to get on some databases.
right. Do you need to get some on some databases?
Oh, I got you
Oh.
now.
Yeah, it's not a big secret that Joe. Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
It's-
Where did Joe go?
Where did I go?
What does that even mean? I need Sandy to translate that for me because I don't understand yet. But
I don't know what he.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it's no secret that Joe is adopted. He shared that. He has shared that on the show, not all the time, but he does say it. So, and I feel like that's probably a missing piece that people are kind of like, yeah, wait, what? And
We could
so
totally do a TLC and name it. I don't care about those fools. Here's my birth fam.
Yeah,
that was
it's
funny.
so,
Actually.
yeah, it's crazy because I would. It's not even.
And I've asked you. You and I have had this conversation before
Yeah.
over the years. In the
Yeah,
20
it's not
years
a
that
big
Joe and
deal.
I have known each other, I periodically have just asked him, like, hey, does that ever anything for you? Like, do you ever think about it? Do you ever have any thoughts or,
Really, the only reason that I would even like attempt to look for it is just for medical reasons, just to know, if so and so had cancer or whatever, and I was more prone to it. So I got a new PCP, and she was like going through my medical history. She goes, "What about your family medical histories?" And I'm like, "I'm adopted." And so she's like, "Oh, so nothing." So there's so we're gonna do a genetic test to see if so that's gonna be kind of cool. So not just a 23andMe or whatever. So
but like a
but
deep
And
medical
that's what I was
dive?
going to say. When Joe did that 23andMe, that was another thing. I'm like, do it, Joe. I mean, even though I know you're like 100% Filipino, I really want to see if I can find your family.
right.
So
It's so crazy because I haven't found anything. And so according to certain people, I do have brothers and sisters. And so I'm just like just crazy to me that the closest that I can find here, I'll pull it up. The closest that I can find on my relatives. Here's my connections. Oh wait, no. Where is it at? Where is it at? I will find it. Y'all keep talking.
So while you're doing that, I put a question in the chat for everyone to kind of respond to, and it's kind of because I want to talk about this a little bit too, since you brought it up, Joe. So when my dad was alive, one of that was the last Christmas gift I got him was a 23andMe kind of genetic testing kit thing,
Mhm.
right? And he had to send that bad boy back like 2 or 3 times. It just kept coming back inconclusive, right?
Oh, yeah, the alien saliva.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the producer. We tried 5 times.
Okay,
Times.
so
Producer
at
and
least
her mom.
Two different services. Yeah, and still nothing. I think she
Interesting,
finally
right?
got one to work. I don't remember the name of the one that she
I
used.
think
I
it's
wonder
about
if the ones who didn't get it, like your wife and my dad, I wonder if that's because those families didn't come from the Huns, and so
Right.
because they're not part of the major populace, maybe they're those anomalies, right? I don't know.
Yeah, the space
But
anomaly. I keep telling her. And I'm like, you didn't birth those kids. I birthed them. That's why they look exactly like me.
So
I'm gonna let y'all have that
to share.
conversation. I'm not
Said,
sure.
Joe, I did 23andMe. Guess what? I have Ethiopian and Congolese in me. Can you tell? But for real.
For real. I could tell.
And
I
so
could tell too.
I pulled it up
okay.
and it doesn't show. Anyway, oh crap! It just left.
We're
The
like, what?
closest relative that I have is a second cousin, once removed, 1.66% DNA shared. So that's the closest.
Y'all drank out of the same cup?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe sneezed in the same room? I don't. It's hard to figure that one out, right?
That
just
is
lets
the
me know
closest.
that none of your family ever came to the U.S.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that what that means? I thought it means that they didn't take the test.
Well, this guy's in Washington, and he was born in 1950. So I don't even.
Oh wow!
know.
So you are about the same age.
What is his name? A Filipino name? No, I didn't even catch that.
Oh my goodness, this dude.
You like that,
His
John?
name is Frederick Rivera.
Oh, he is Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks great. He looks like.
Yeah. So for all of you out there, if you didn't know, a lot of Filipinos have a lot of Mexican sounding names because they were
invaded by the Spaniards.
The
Spanish colonizers.
And they were there
because
for a little over.
North, I was from the north side. I don't even have any of that in my blood.
They were they occupied the Philippines for a little bit over 100 years.
The north side didn't like Spanish people.
Mm-hmm. They did not.
Mm-hmm.
So,
they didn't like those
am.
colonizers.
It makes me want to go get it.
Filipino, 99%.
There's no. Yeah, we can't see it well. It's not your fault. It's just too bright. It doesn't.
99%. Anyway, 99% Filipino.
So it makes me want to go get the test done. I wanted to get it done before my dad passed so that he could see where our blood was from.
That you were his kid?
There was never any doubt that he was my father. There was doubt that I had more than two.
Whenever we went to his funeral, his son is funny because the people that were sitting, whenever you at his wake or whatever, there were people sitting behind us like this, and they're like, "Oh, he looks exactly like
or AP.
Yeah, he goes. He looks exactly like AP.
The one guy.
I don't think I look anything like my father though, but I know I'm part of the family.
There was one guy there, and I was like, "Oh my god, that Jamie looks just like him." And everybody's like, "They're not even related." And I think he's a white guy.
Okay, see, shut up.
No, seriously, it was true. They're like, "That's not a family member."
That is. I will not. And I am so honest. The one fear I've had about those stupid things is I'm totally gonna find that long lost brother or sister I knew I had but could never prove. I know they're out there, and so that's the only reason it's kept me away from those things. Is
really?
I ain't got time for that.
You should do it.
Plus, that's one of the reasons.
Want to know about his?
One of the guys at my office found a long lost brother.
See, I ain't got time for that.
Or never heard of.
Look,
or
I didn't know that he had a brother. Yeah,
I would love to share super positive, encouraging things about having a relationship with a brother or sister. Actually, brother. Anyway, I can't. So I don't even have a desire to know if I have long lost brothers and sisters.
No
I do. That's the only reason
don't.
I need. I did it for the cheesemate girl. I sure did.
No, I can't. Like no good has come for me. So I'm like, I don't even want to go. I don't need someone else. Kind of. Anyway.
Did you find anyone, Sandy? Did you find any weird ones?
Man, there have been some things that popped up, but let me read this comment. I've been researching my genealogy. Also, my family is indigenous to America. My ancestors are Cherokee Indian.
Wow.
Funny story about the Cherokee Indian. My husband's family, they said that there's like an Indian in their family.
There's not.
I want to say it's like Elizabeth Warren, like 0.0002.
You know what's crazy? So I learned this, that if a child has any, I think it's more than 5% Native American in them, they can be claimed by that tribe. For it's
so to get the
and you get
benefits You have to have that claim. You have to. There are.
You get a card, and then like if you get in trouble, you have to like go through the tribe.
Oh, right.
Like there's lots of things that I learned.
So Javal, what else have you learned from your genealogy? Yeah, so I asked that question, right? I asked the question because
is that 1% tip? Because you're 99% Filipino, 1% tip.
Listen, we're going to talk about that later, okay? Because I'm not going to get off this show tonight without talking about that. Okay, it is my personal mission. Thank you, Sandy, to attack this. But we'll get to there later. We're not going to do it now because I want Joe. I want Joe's spotlight to be done. I mean, not that I'm rushing. I'm saying I want him
turn off your bulb, sir.
That's not what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to shine the spotlight away from him yet. Is what I guess is what I'm trying to say. Maybe, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I was curious for everyone else too watching. Just the idea of putting that stuff out there so you can get that information back. Is it relevant to you? Is it not? What do you feel like you'd get some good stuff out of there?
We just found out that one of our past guests, is related to Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes. And
I was going to say CPJ.
Cynthia here with True Hauntings. And funny that you mentioned that because I did a podcast with them on Sunday, and it's going to air on the 24th. So y'all go listen to it.
Nice.
And I talked about y'all too. Sure did.
Good.
I talk about y'all all the time too when I go on other people's stuff. I always say nice things about y'all.
I called Sandy the day I got my results. True story. I was so sad to learn no senorita in my soul. So we just laughed about the Congo, Ethiopia, and Neanderthal.
I did notice that your brow sticks out a little bit more there, CPJ.
Oh my God.
You have like your own personal visor is what he's trying to say.
Oh,
a little more sunken in here.
So, Joe, you asked me earlier if I had found stuff. So I'm having like first cousins pop up.
Oh.
I've had 2 first cousins pop up. One ghosted me after I was like, hey, who are you related to? Like, who is your parents?
Oh.
And then she was like, I have a lot of cousins, and never answered me back. And the other one, I did not message. I didn't want to get rejected. But yes, so I do have first cousins. And then, so my aunts came to visit, and I was like, which one of y'all gave kids away? And they were like, not I. But they were like, but this one aunt of yours, I believe, possibly could have. And I'm like, oh. And then they said, do you know about this kid? And I'm like, oh.
Sandy's all over the chisme.
Hell yeah, girl.
That's her thing.
That is my thing. I just want to be knowing things. Like, don't be leaving me out in the dark, people.
It's crazy though that the producer didn't find any more information on my birth mom. So I was surprised at that. But she didn't work very hard on it. I think she's
okay. So here's another thing that we can do. We can subscribe to Ancestry, and Ancestry has censors. Is it a census? Census, my bad. And people did census, and I found a lot of my family members on the census, including some that I had no idea about.
Oh.
It was a census done in Mexico in the 1950s.
Wow. So, yeah, so it's all of the over the planet?
Well, I only found the ones because I only was looking in Mexico, so I didn't. So I don't know if there are other ones, but it almost reminded me of the Ellis Island logs, if y'all have ever seen those.
Oh yeah.
And so that's what the census looked like, and it was that handwriting, so it was very like almost flowery. Like calligraphy. Yeah, very. Yeah. So anyway, it's super interesting, but you can subscribe to that.
Oh, Cynthia, were your ears ringing?
Yes, because we just mentioned you.
We just did that.
She was like, just show up.
There's a disturbance in the force.
Edgar Allan Poe tapped on her shoulder and said, "They're talking about you."
Quoth the Raven.
Never related.
Related. So never really been interested in it, I guess, until now. I'm kind of interested now, but again, it's not like
I'm hella interested. Oh my gosh, I'm invested. We're here for this. I'm gonna resubscribe to that
right.
so I
So
can
you
be
probably
looking.
need to get with the producer and y'all can tag team it because
Yeah.
she finds some things on people. I'm just like, how did you find them? Oh, I went this way, this way, this way, this way. And I was like, what?
Listen. So one day my friend says, Sandy, this lady, her husband went to jail, and I want to know why. I said, girl, say less. And I was like, I'll call you back. And then 10 seconds later, I said, okay, he went to prison for embezzlement.
Oh,
She said, how did you find out? I'm like, girl, just Google. Just Google and go down a few things.
yeah, I can't share my secrets with you, but it starts with Google.
Right. It started with Google. But man, you can find anything and everything. There was another lady that we're trying to figure out what she's doing. She's not from around here.
Mm.
And there's some kids that are missing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads into the true crime thing that is your thing too.
That's why I be doing things. But I would never go as far as some people have gone. I don't know if y'all seen in the news, they found a little boy who is disabled, and they're currently looking for his family. They found him wandering in Midland, Texas.
Oh my gosh, really?
And they have no idea who he is. And so all of a sudden, these internet sleuths are like, well, this kid with the same mental handicap went missing in Florida. And you know what those bastards did? They reached out to the mom and said, hey, well, we think we found your son.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, that is disrespectful. Disrespectful.
Yeah. There was a big report on it on the news guy that I watched that it happened in England, that they were looking for this person that had died, and it was in this area, and all the TikTok detectives were there and just screwing up everything, spreading false rumors, and it just made the whole thing that much harder for them to find her.
That's awful.
It's so crazy.
Like, I love being nosy, but I'm not going to be like calling people and saying, hey, is this a connection? Like, no.
Yeah.
Not going to do that.
Crazy.
Let's see. Javal says, yes, it's definitely enlightened my perspective on history of my ancestors before they were named Cherokee, reaching back as to the Olmec civilization. Wow.
Oh.
What year was the Olmec civilization? Because I feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah, that would have been like what do they call it?
Joe, you have to be on my podcast next. You can be a skeptic amongst us believers. Heck yeah, I could do that. I'm going to be
you
like,
brought up the topics to him.
No, I don't know.
He'll punch the holes in them.
That's what they're looking for. They need a hole puncher.
Right. But you have to bring someone else on so he can punch them.
Right. Yeah. So I can be like,
because Joe will not be. He's not the most engaging when it comes to the ghost stories or he'll be like,
yeah.
So you gotta have someone who can really bring it, Cynthia.
Oh, she said, we'll try to convert him. Good luck, girl. We've been trying for years.
Yeah, good luck with
He's
that.
a lost cause.
Anything you need from Sandy, or let us know. We'll give you what we got. But he is. I do feel what Sandy said is true. He is a lost cause.
Yeah, you might lose some people if you bring me on because they're like, this guy is boring and knows nothing. You know nothing.
Why did you bring him on? Because then he's so good at being a skeptic that then your people are going to be skeptics.
Oh, that's right. It'll be a reverse card throwing down. Jeez. You're going to have to cut the mic on him.
What you wish for.
Did you read that you can't stack those cards anymore? That you're not supposed to?
Oh, yeah. I did read that. It was official Uno rules. It was like, that's not.
I don't care about
yourself.
We're playing it the way that we've always played.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
If you throw down a draw 4, I'm going to throw down a draw 4, and you're drawing 8.
And then.
Oh, I didn't know that rule. I just played with my nieces and nephew this weekend. Oh, they just be trying to cheat.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And then I got the 6th and the 9th confused.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to stack them. Like a draw 2, the next person can't do another draw 2 on top of it. It's supposed to be you just draw 2.
It's baloney, is what I say.
But
you know what else is baloney?
We're not doing that.
Baloney.
Stacking them.
I haven't had bologna in a long, long time.
Man, I love a good bologna sandwich.
I don't think so. Bologna. Yeah.
I do.
You know what I get tired of? So do you, and I don't know if we talked about this, when I go through YouTube and I start watching the shorts or whatever, and I get sucked into that little time waster, right? Like the ups, the thumbs up and thumbs down on all that stuff, right? Like I stop caring to give those to anyone unless they're
Hang tight. I have a
legitimate
DNA comment. I don't want to
unless
get
they're
too far from it.
legitimate people who have done their own work. Then I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But if it's not, I'm kind of like, whatever. And then I really hate the reaction videos. I totally down them. And I go in there and I'll be like, another useless reaction video. Thank you. I didn't ask for that.
And because you like them or dislike them, they still show up in your algorithm.
So I even go as far.
I'm with you on the reaction ones.
Okay.
Just like,
and I even go as far as hitting the 3 buttons and say, don't recommend this channel to me. Get the and I'm like, don't even recommend them. Oh, and I'm going to go a step further. Don't show me this Friends or Seinfeld show clips. I don't care at all for those kind of shows. I'm like, just get off here. I don't. It's got to be sci-fi. It's got to be sci-fi, anime.
You just ask for way too damn much.
I'm just saying, it's like I don't want to see all these people. Like I didn't watch it the first time. I stopped shoving it down my feed now. It's like and so and because it's always random people, right? That are just farming for YouTube likes and stuff. So I mean, do y'all even so if you watch a video, I want everyone to ask this. This is a practical application. When you watch any video on any platform and you like it, do you automatically hit the arrow button or whatever button to show your whatever you want to say to support it? Do you hit the button to support that video?
I don't.
Yeah.
If I'm on TikTok, I hit the heart if I liked it.
Yeah, why?
So it'll keep feeding me the same crap because I want to know if that was the father or not. God.
Don't get me started on the stupid part 2s, right? Like if you do that to me on any of these little reels or whatever else, I do the same thing. I hit those 3 dots and say, don't recommend this channel ever to me again. Get out of here. I'm so sick and tired of watching these videos and being like, you trying to Pavlovian dog me here. Forget you. I'm not playing like that.
All right, let's go back to Joanne's comment.
I give out likes and hearts like they're going out of style because I know how much creators need those. Thank you, Cynthia. Same.
Yes. So, Cynthia, if you're a true creator, I'm okay with that. But like I said earlier, like with those reaction videos or just...
The reactions never get a like from me.
Ever.
Because you're just trying to go viral based on somebody else's content.
Oh.
At least put a little bit more effort into it, right? Like, I don't know, like the singing ones, those are kind of okay because they add another layer to it. Yeah. There are people who like, so the original video will have like the bass and then the next video or reaction video has a tenor or something like that. So they're adding these layers and I'm like, okay, that's kind of creative. I kind of like that. But the ones where they're just watching it and like, what is this? What's he doing?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's wrapping this on the paper and now he's going to stick it in the microwave. I wonder what's going to, oh my gosh, did y'all even see that? And I'm like,
so the one who went famous off of his reaction videos that I think I saw him on Ellen I don't know how long ago. I was just flipping the channel.
Kaylin. I think Kaylin's
yes.
how you say it.
And he was
his
funny
is hilarious.
With his reaction videos because he was like reacting to people cooking. And then he had like the best facial expressions, the best voices with it. He was a good.
His anecdotes.
But the ones where you're just like
hilarious.
That's not a reaction video. That is
sorry, it annoys me, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Okay, Joanne's comment. I've never been curious about any of that. I'm just a mishmash of whatever. I've been asked if I'm Indian, European, and I say I'm Mexican. Damn it!
But what if you're not?
Yeah, what if you're not?
Like,
You've been telling people you are. How embarrassing!
You know, have you heard of any of those stories? I'm going to start looking for them on Reddit now, Sandy.
No, I've had. So I talked to someone, and she thought that they were full on Italian. And they'd been told by their grandmother and great grandmother they were full-on Italian. They did the test, 0 Italian.
Yeah, that happened to Kelly Raspberry. I think she's been told that she was what are redheaded people?
Irish.
They've been told her whole life that she's Irish, not even Irish. Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you say that because there's this Latina I follow on YouTube, and she's got red hair. And her mom is Mexican, and her dad is something else, not Mexican at all. And so a lot of hers are always like people. She does the videos where people are like, "You're not Mexican," and then she brings out, you know what I'm talking about? Real skinny.
No, there was another one, beautiful, gorgeous, blonde, blue eyes from Jalisco. And in her comments, people were like, "Man, you are not Mexican." I mean, just dogging her.
Yeah, same.
It's
Yep.
awful. And I'm like, just because she's not brown,
Yeah.
that's why we're mad at her. I mean,
And
she was
I'd
gorgeous.
wonder who are the
She
ones who are
still is
saying that to
gorgeous.
her too, right? Like, anyway.
People my color, the brownies, little
Yeah.
dark ones, little darky
So,
darks. They mad about something.
so anyway, that's what I'm saying, Joanna. I understand the heart of what you're saying, but I've heard those stories too, Joe. I've read stories where people are like, yeah, so guess who's the idiot now?
Italian, like they were mostly,
and it's
Italian.
Across the board. I've seen them for
Russian.
lots of
They're
different
not even
nationalities. Yeah. And are complete opposite. They're like they're and the hard ones are the ones where they're like, the story that someone's telling about their family who was, just ugly against certain people, and then come to find out that they're more closely related to those people than not. And it's like, yeah, that my family member just lost
my whole
their
life
ever-loving
I hated
mind.
Neanderthals, and I married one.
Now look, you're great friends with one.
Married one, great friends with another, surrounded by Neanderthals.
Oh man. So have you ever, hold on, let me rephrase this. Have you ever heard of a story of a parent that forced their kid to break up with someone?
With their girlfriend or whatever?
Yeah.
I lived that.
Oh, you did? Tell us your story.
True story.
Can you share?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
So, I was in high school. I was in love.
Oh, it happened to you.
Oh, it was.
I
thought you made the kids do it. I thought you were about to tell us you forced the kids to break up.
Me. And
okay.
So, my boyfriend at the time, I had no idea, was a crackhead. And I was a crackhead by proxy, apparently. Anyway, so this fool shows up to my house. You don't show up to my house. Y'all know my dad? Everybody in freaking town knew my dad. You don't show up to my fucking house, okay? Anyway, he shows up to the house. My dad's like, get on, get.
Yeah.
This fool dropped his wallet and realized he dropped it, came back, and my dad said, pulled out a gun on him, okay? The following day, my dad went and had a restraining order put on him. Like he was not to come out to my house ever again. And I'm like, but I love him. Anyway.
Wow.
So I continued to see him, even though I was not supposed to.
Because that's happy. That was
because
happy.
It's what I freaking do. And then he got accepted into a college, and I applied, and I got accepted too. And then he wouldn't answer my calls when he was off to college. So weird.
So weird.
He ghosted you?
He was cheating on me, and I was a pendeja, and I was in love.
Sorry.
Anyway, so didn't go very far.
You, Joe? Did you ever force the kids to break up with anyone?
No. Luckily,
that's actually like the worst idea. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, I didn't. I felt like the girls were. It's funny though. Blana's really the only one that's actually dated, and she dated. She had a type there for a little bit, and I'm like, but they're all losers. Can you find somebody that's...
You go through that phase. You go through like the loser type phase.
Right.
As long as you don't stay in it.
Yeah. Now that you mention that, I do plant those seeds with the girls where I'm like, you better, I don't want some chump or some chimp or champ or whatever. I don't want some.
You go get stuck with the chump when you say
I don't want some. I'm like, don't bring any any raggedy
Chomp.
girl or guy into the house or
Chomp
to
alert.
me or whatever, like I want her or him to be cool. Like they need to be like legit awesome. So
It don't
So-
matter. You tell your kids, don't bring no dusty ass little girl in here, and there come the dusty ass little girl.
and if they bring her in, I'm totally gonna be like, there's a door right there. And I told Dakisa too. I was like, I'm not gonna put up with some raggedy, whatever. I'm like,
Well, so sometimes though, I will
Whoa.
tell you this. Sometimes it takes them to get through the losers to find the good one. So unfortunately, it's kind of like
I don't want
it's
them.
a path, but it's crazy how it starts out because for Balana, my oldest, she went through a couple of losers and now she has he's a great guy.
We all love him. He's such a good little
He's
egg.
a really good guy, and I think he's going to do really well. He's got a new job, and he works hard. Well, this new job doesn't even require him to work hard, but still, he found it.
There's nothing wrong with working
to work.
smart, man.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with working smart. If I
And
can find a
so
job that I can only work 3 hours a day in, I'm okay.
Yeah,
with
he's
that.
graduated college. He supports her in every way, and they do things together. And it's just crazy how
You ever think
how
he's
well
a little too
their
good for
relationship-
her, actually?
Jim, you
But yeah,
need to
but
raise your
I will
bar.
tell you, he's better than all three of her past boyfriends put together, and you added 5 more of them together. He's that much better than them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sandy, what do you have any kind of reaction or rebuttal to that? Because
About you have to go through the losers to get to the.
yeah.
No, that's straight facts, man. Look at me. I have to go through 6 of salami to get to my steak that I'm married to.
Or bologna, the bolognas.
No, because I love bologna. That's my problem.
I'm gonna make sure if I'm disciplined enough when this episode is over, I'm totally cutting that clip out, okay? And we're gonna use that as the real where Sandy is like what you just said. So I'm so glad you said that.
You everybody has to go through that phase. And here's the thing: when you tell your kids to not to, here they come, and they're holding on to that love of their life like fucking Chica in the sun. I mean, Lord, don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what?
So I think there's some validity to what you guys are saying. My challenge, as the girls get closer to the age, I'm like, man, I don't want that screw up though to be that epic and massive, right? Like, did you
have to
talk to the kids?
You have to let them go through it. You're gonna give your spiel.
No. I'm not saying I don't have to let them or force them not to go through it. I'm saying to the extreme. Like, I don't want my kids coming home and saying I'm pregnant before they even graduated high school or anything like that. No offense, Sandy. I'm just saying is.
I was graduating from high school. The fuck you talking about?
Dude, I'm saying before my kids get into life, like I don't want them.
I'm fixing to get the hell out of here.
And
you just jinxed yourself. Watch out tomorrow.
Shut up! Don't say that. Jeez.
Well, exactly. No offense, Sandy. None taken.
What's the problem? If none was taken, it doesn't
taken.
You just said no offense, Sandy. I did not get pregnant in high school. Thank you very much.
I didn't say you did. I said I didn't want my kids to be anything like getting pregnant. And then
you name drop me.
Was that wrong?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it. It wasn't meant to be like you got pregnant before high school.
No.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
I mean,
I said it wrong.
I mean, I can still be pissed about it, even though you.
Yeah, you're right. You can. I'm not asking you not to be pissed. I'm not saying you don't be pissed at me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm sorry.
I'm just saying okay.
Okay. Anyways, so your daughters, man, it broke my heart when Balana would break up with those guys because it hurt her, and so it's just that thing. The cool thing about Balana, though, was she wasn't afraid to put her heart out there again. So and she even told us that before. She's like, she goes, they broke my heart, but I'm not going to be afraid to try again. And so that was cool about her. So, but she understood why the relationships didn't last or whatever. So
Mhm.
And I think the thing about something that I especially Alex, because he's my more outgoing and dating world. Like, allow yourself to grieve that relationship and then move on. Like, don't. I have a friend
How
whose
did he
son.
grieve? How was his grieving process
It
during
wasn't.
those
He was
times?
going out and looking for more tail.
He's a boy. He's a guy. He
Yeah,
grieved for like 2
like he
minutes.
rebounded. I think girls probably grieve a little bit longer than a boy does.
Mhm. They write
But
What?
songs.
How was yours, Joe? How did they?
hey there,
What'd you say?
Delilah. What's it like in here?
Exactly. What was that,
Oh.
Jamie?
No, I was asking how was the what do you call it? How was their breakup? What you call it, Sandy?
What?
The grief
Oh, the
For,
grieving
period.
part.
for
Yeah.
Balana?
How was the girl? How was Balana's grieving
The
Did
girl
she
side of it?
cry and eat ice
Oh.
cream?
She cried. I don't know if she ate the ice cream or not, but she was pretty upset for, I would say, like a week. She was upset for like a week. But then after that, she just moved on. So, and the main thing for me was I just told her, it's like, hey, if you just need somebody to hug, I'm here for you. I won't say a word. And that's the thing, because they already hurting. So if you go in there and say, I told you that guy was a loser and you shouldn't have been dating him, that doesn't help out at all.
Yeah, it makes it worse. But
It
I
makes
did
it
tell
totally
Alex, I
worse.
told you, fool.
Right, exactly.
See,
So
I can
I
feel
just,
myself doing a little bit of both.
right.
I could go to my kids and be like, "Look, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I need some words that I can say that I can take my frustration out on them. So
No.
you let me know what I can say that's within acceptable boundaries, because they piss me off too,
Well,
because they
so
hurt you."
like after the grieving period, I did call him a loser. So
Okay, see, like that, I'd be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"You
So I would wait until after the grieving period. But I during that time, I was like, "Do you just need me to sit here with you? Do you want me to just hug you?" And I didn't say anything else about the loser or
when
whatever.
when both the kids for both of y'all when they first started dating, was there a conversation with mom and dad? With you two. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
So Kiki does not date. Kiki gives off "do not look at me" vibes. She asked me one time, she goes, Dad, am I approachable? I'm like, no. She goes, I go, whenever you go into class, do people smile at you and do you smile back at them? She's like, no. I was like, when you walk into a class, do they say hi to you and do you say hi to them? No, you're not approachable. But Balana is the more outgoing one. What was your question again?
Did either of the kids for both of you have any conversation with you prior to
Not
their first
really.
dating relationship?
I always joked that Balana needed to get married. Of course, I'm as serious as I am. I always told her, it's like, you can't date until you're married. I always told her that. It didn't happen that way. So hold on, Siri's trying to talk.
So when Alex was in high school, I was like, I'm meeting every girl. And so he made it a point. I met every single one of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you
And
meet
he
their parents also? Was that any
Yeah.
kind of prerequisite for y'all?
I met their parents and him. Whenever they like officially went out on a date, like if she had boyfriends in high school or something like that, or they held hands, I never knew about that. But for the ones that where they actually went on dates and she was old enough to drive somewhere or whatever, I did meet those guys. So
for me, I just made it a point to meet the girls, and Alex knew, like, they ain't going to the house, they ain't going into your room, stuff like that.
right.
Like, if they want to come over, they're gonna sit in the living room and watch TV with all of us. We're all watching true crime.
We're all watching documentaries.
You're damn right.
Okay.
We're not watching horror movies. We're not watching rom-coms. None of that.
I had this really permissive, cool mom that allowed him to hang out 24/7 if he wanted to.
At their place?
At their place, yeah, not at mine. He had a curfew at my house, but So he didn't hang out like as much as she wanted them to, but they were very pushy, like pushing their daughter. And
Oh
there
yeah.
was a comment that was made. They asked him about his dad's employment, and he told them
The
stepdad's
family
employment.
asked
The
asked
girl's family asked him, where does your dad work? So he gave them stepdad's employment, and they made a comment like, "Oh, there's money over there based on his employment."
uh-huh.
And I said, you should have told him what your dad does. Tell him he's in debt, because technically that ain't your dad. I said, you ain't heir to nothing, my dude. Debt and bad credit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no,
That's crazy.
that was a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We make it a thing. We told, we have a rule, I guess is what it is. We have to meet all the girls, like friends, especially so they can be friends with anyone. We'd like to meet their friends. If they want to spend the night or anything else past
people.
that, we have to
Yeah.
meet their parents. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're just not gonna, whatever. My problem is I forget people. I forget their names and stuff, right? So like this happened just a couple weekends ago, or this past weekend. I was like, who are you staying with? I need to talk to them. I need to know, doing the full spill and everything. And then give me the number. And I'm calling. I'm like, look, I'm Jaime Pina. Eva's my daughter, or Eden, whichever one. And I was like, and who are you? And blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, we live down the street from you and stuff. I'm like, what does that mean to me? And they're like, we came to your daughter's birthday party. We met at the party. And I was like, oh.
Like, y'all were in my bowling alley and I don't remember?
You played basketball on the indoor basketball court and I don't remember you? I'm so sorry.
I was like, oh,
it was dark
I've already
It was dark in the theater room. I'm sorry, okay?
Yes, the lights were out.
You know what? Y'all need to stop, because I talked to someone pretty recently and they're like, so I got to ask you about the bowling alley and the movie. And I was like, it's not real. Okay. I was like,
he says that all the time.
They heard
He's a
us
humble,
enough on
modest
here,
guy.
and they were like, I just hear Joe and Sandy always talking about it. Just wondered, like, how did you get a house and what do you do? And I'm like, nothing. Okay.
There's
I live
money
paycheck
over
to
there.
paycheck. Okay. I live paycheck to paycheck too. So
direct deposit to direct deposit. So when Alex was in 5th grade, he said, Mom, my friend wants to come over to my house. I'm like, okay, cool. Her parents, I need to meet her parents. There's a girl. Okay. 5th grade. They were just friends. I said, cool, I need to meet her parents. He's like, okay. And then they just drop her off. They dropped their little girl off at my son's house, at my house.
Without meeting you. 5th grade.
Didn't meet us. And I said, are they going to, and I asked the little girl, I'm like, are your parents going to come in? They were like, no, they saw you at church. I'm like, that's the worst kind of people, the ones that go to church. And you dropping them off because you saw me at church? Lord Jesus.
You're like, if that's all it takes these days.
Yeah, geez. Honestly, they left her for about 4 hours and then came back, honked. She went out. They never came in.
Yeah,
and I told Alex,
I have issues with that.
Never again. Never. Yeah. We're not doing that. I felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah. I remember there was this young lady who came to hang out with my oldest anyway, some time ago. And it was so funny because I guess she was hungry and didn't say anything because she Ubered some McDonald's to the house for herself. And I was a little upset about it because she didn't ask anyone else in the house if they wanted any. Eva thought it was for her and her to eat. Mm-hmm. And when it got there, Eva was like, because I was upset with Eva too for not asking us. Then we could have all just pitched in. And I didn't want the little girl to, go starving in our house. Then we had plenty of food. I would have picked up some, whatever, but I was just kind of like, but then I got more mad at Eva because she came back after her friend left and she was like, well, I guess it was just for her because she didn't order me anything like she said. I was like, yeah, why would she? She didn't.
You're at your house. You had food. She didn't.
I was like, Ubered her own food to that. It was just weird. It was so weird to me.
So what, did your daughter not offer her food?
I don't think so. I think maybe, and right. So the little girl probably just had her. And what? Anyway, there's other stuff that just starts popping off now. Like, I don't know that I'd ever send my kids to anybody's house with the ability to order Uber on her own. Like, how does that happen, right? That was my other thought. I was like, I mean, who paid
So, like,
for
if
it?
my kid calls me and says, "Hey, Mom, I'm at my friend's house. They're not giving me anything to eat, or they've already eaten. Can I order me some food?" I'd be like, "Yeah, totally." But I would
And that would
also
make
say,
sense.
ask them if they can have, if they want something,
Right. So even when I take my
and then be
kids,
like, just ignore them and tell them the order didn't go through, because we ain't got money for them fools.
and so and it was just a bizarre scenario. I was just like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know that I want them to never come back either. I don't know.
So it was funny when Balana started having friends come over. She only had like one or two friends that would come over at a time. So one of them, the mom came up to the front door and she's about to leave. And I was like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah." And then I was like, "So does your daughter have any food allergies?" She's like, "Oh, I guess that's important, right?" Just like,
Oh my gosh, you just unlocked a memory.
right. I was like, she goes, "She doesn't." But yeah, that's a great question. I was like,
Yes, and we do ask that regularly. So when the girls'
I asked
friends
now,
come
I was
over,
like,
we
just want to make sure. I was like, "Do you
Yeah.
have food allergies? I need to know this."
right,
Just to make
especially
sure.
because we do stock, peanut butter and the little, peanut
Mhm.
protein bars or whatever. So those are pretty heavy around the house. No, but I remember one of my last memories when I was in Lubbock. Oh gosh, we had already left Lubbock, I think, and came back to visit, or it was like weeks before we left the final time, right? I remember being at Roddy and Mary's house. Roddy and Mary are the girls' godparents. We were at their house. They had a friend. The friend's little girl was being dropped off at their house, and to watch her while they were having this big get together. So we're there, and then Roddy's barbecuing, and there's quite a few people there. No, not a bunch, but a good number. It's time to eat. His wife starts getting all the kids. We start getting all the kids to the table wrangled up so that we can feed the kids first, right?
Yeah, kids table.
And then we're like, we can't find this little girl. And so then we start looking around. We're like, where are you? I don't know her name. We'll just call her.
Here, kitty.
We'll call her Patricia. We're just like, "Patricia, where are you?" We're just looking around and nothing. We're like, "Oh my gosh, where are you?" Guys, for the next hour, we are scouring the neighborhood by this point in all directions.
Oh my goodness.
And we're like, what is going on? And then we finally meet someone. I was the one who found her. I found someone who said, "I did see a little girl walking over here." And I was like, "Really? Where? Which direction?" They were like, "Just this way." It was like, okay, the women are at home and they are crying and scared out of their mind.
Helping, doing
and
the
then,
most.
And then the guys are all in the neighborhood. So I'm going down the street and they live close to where Godeke Library was. So literally, like, you could just walk from their house.
Like 66 in Quaker?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 66 in Quaker. So they live on the street that feeds into Quaker, right?
Wow.
They're like a block. They're not even a block away. They are that block.
Cabrona.
And so anyway, we come to this house that's on a corner. So basically she's on the opposite street behind. And in this corner, they're playing basketball. There's like 3 or 4 kids out there. And I see her and I'm like, "Sweetheart, where have you?" Oh my God.
Oh, I would have been like, "Little stupid."
I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I was like, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, "Thank y'all. I need to take her back home." I was like, "There's no way this sounds good. There's nothing I can say that makes it sound good. There's no reality where but anyway, I was able to get the little girl. We get back to the house. Everyone's relieved. Mom and Dad show up. We were like, "We're so sorry. We didn't know. We should have locked the door. All the things. We're so sorry." And then guess what they say? They're like, "Oh, I guess we should have told y'all. She has a habit of getting out the house and walking around neighborhoods."
Put a leash on that kid.
Or an air tag. That kid needs an air tag.
Yeah, air tag, a chip, microchip her.
I have
The
never been.
scanner?
That was one of my all-time scariest events, and I totally forgot about it until you said something just now, Joe. And now I'm all like,
Dude, I've
oh, the
lost. I've
stress
almost
that
lost
night.
2 of my kids.
I've lost both of mine. I've lost them.
And Jet, we were in Seattle, Washington, visiting family, and we went to this rose arboretum, rose garden, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And Jet's playing with the other kids, and they're playing hide and seek. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I pop up. I haven't heard from Jet in a little bit because that boy had an annoying laugh, still does, but I haven't heard from him
Gonna get
in
hit.
a little bit. Yeah, and we can't find him. And we're like, I'm like, I tell the producer, I was like, have you seen Jet? And she's like, no. And then we're like, this place is huge. Like, it's a big rose garden. And we're like, oh my gosh. So we're going out there screaming, Jet, Jet, where are you, Jet? For like 10, 15 minutes, we're looking for him.
Oh, worst.
We can't find him. And then one of the kids finds him, and he just pops out and he's just laughing. He's laughing his ass off because he thought they were still playing hide and seek, and we wanted to play hide and seek. And I walk up to him like, Jet, where have you been? We were calling for you. And of course, he starts crying because he sees how upset I am. He's like, I was like,
how old was he?
He must have been like 8 or 9 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was just crazy. And he was,
I feel bad for him, but at the same time,
it wasn't his fault.
Yeah,
we couldn't find him, and we're in this foreign place. Oh my gosh, we were so scared. And then we lost Kiki one time at Schlitterbahn. Couldn't find her. We're like walking around, Kiki, and then I see her, and she's walking up, and she's just bawling.
Oh no!
Just like, there you are. And she walked up to us. And Schlitterbahn is just loaded with people, so it's like, where were you at?
And all the kids look alike. You can get what swimsuit your kids
as
are
she's
wearing.
crying, no one's doing anything.
I know, right? Because Kiki, I told you, she's always giving off the "don't talk to me" vibes.
I'll cry on my own.
That is wild, though.
Man,
that would scare the living daylights out of me. Lose a kid at a water park or any of those big, shopping malls.
But I feel your situation too, because you're like, y'all are the adults. You're supposed to make sure we keep an eye on all the kids, and then all of a sudden they're not there. Man,
so when we asked the parents about that, we were like, okay, because the Mary and Roddy, they're like, we swore we closed the door like that, and the parents were like, yeah, you probably did. She knows. She knows how to undo them well enough. And we're like,
I would never babysit that kid.
We thought, yeah. So, in our minds, we thought, did we leave the door unlocked? Someone came in, because Roddy and Mary were very, religious about keeping the doors closed. The kids were all small babies and stuff like that. So totally thought that was the case. But no, this little girl, and I think she must have been like 4 or 5, which is why it was so scary and why she could get out. We were just like, so we thought we left the door open, but she was like, the parents were like, no, she just has a knack.
Wow.
A knack.
So Cindy says, my autistic son has escaped many times in his younger years. He was quick as lightning. Wow. I mean, they can disappear in a matter of minutes.
Seconds.
We stopped in Arizona. We were like Mexico border in Arizona, and we potty break. Usually Cade would follow Eric, now that he's older, to go in there with him. And I come out, and Eric comes out, and I'm like, where's Cade? He's like, I thought he was already out here. I'm like, I've not seen him. Oh my God. And I'm like, we're at the freaking border. Like, what if they took him? I mean, we go worst case scenario. We look everywhere, we can't find him. And then he just pops out of nowhere. Where the fuck have you been? After you done lost your little blessing, and then you try to kill him. Oh gosh.
I'm gonna give you something to lose.
Yeah.
Run away from.
I'm right there with you. When I lost my kids in Walmart, both times, I lost it. Like, I wanted to beat the living daylights out of them while squeezing the life out of them and trying hard not to cry in front of them.
Yeah. I remember one time I got lost at the Lubbock flea market. My mom was so mad. So she grabbed me, and this other lady grabs me. And so I'm being pulled between 2 people because they both thought the other lady thought I was her son. And she's yanking on me. My mom's yanking on this other side. And
Oh my.
she turns to me and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Not sure my
Your
son.
mom was like, "No, go ahead. Come on, please."
He's like, darn it, I tugged on him too hard.
She's like, I tried.
Exactly. So yeah, I was like, "Oh, I'm just here chilling," and then all of a sudden I get grabbed in both directions.
Oh man. Yeah, I
So
don't think I've had a
Cindy
story
says,
like that.
I used to strap my son into an umbrella stroller even though he was too big because it was the only way to keep him from running.
Well,
Cindy, I
you-
used to strap Alex into a stroller because he would just always just be like meeting people and talking to people. Well, then he got to where he would stick his feet in between that little where you rest your feet, and he would hop up and then walk with the stroller on his back.
oh my gosh.
So
Oh
it was
man.
no good.
Oh man.
It was
You know, I've always been a fan of those leashes for the kids. I used to hate them at first, but then when I had my kids, I was like, "Nah, I'm okay."
Okay, that makes way more sense now.
yeah. An
Yeah.
old man scolded me rudely because he didn't know he was autistic. I swear, people just damn.
Mind your damn business. Ain't nobody asks you. Nobody asks you.
Right. So I have I want to share something before we get off the show.
Go for it.
Eric and I he was listening to what I was listening to. We were listening to a TikTok. Let me tell you, this TikTok pissed us off so much
What?
that I used a word that I
Oh,
reserve
That's
for
right.
special people.
I heard about this.
So the TikTok went a little something like this. The lady came on to ask how she could save her marriage. And she said, I met this man 2 years ago, fell in love with him. It was love at first sight.
Okay.
The man happened to be a widower. Not only did he happen to be a widower, he happened to be a single dad. And she knew it. And so they fall in love, they start dating, and she soon comes to realize that his wife was loved by all. She was the best mom, the best friend, the always there for everybody. And so after she gets married, she tells him, well, I don't want to live in a house where you and your wife lived. So he said, I understand. So they bought another house so that they could create their own memories.
Okay.
She starts resenting how much people loved his wife, that she in the comments refers to him as the ex-wife. First of all,
Wait.
she's not an ex-wife.
She's not an ex-wife.
She's deceased.
Wait. People in these comments are saying that the deceased wife is the ex-wife.
No, she was saying that.
She referred to the deceased wife as the ex-wife.
Oh my gosh.
And she started to resent and harbor feelings against this deceased woman. So much so that when they moved, she threw away pictures. Threw away pictures of the deceased woman of when she was a baby, threw away pictures of her and her daughter. And fast forward to the daughter is about to graduate, and grandma reaches out and says, hey, I would ask the son, hey, can you give me the pictures of when she was little so that I can put a little something together for her graduation? So the husband comes to her and says, hey, I can't find these photos. And she says, well, I'm not going to lie to him. I threw them away. And so he is beyond livid. He does not speak to her at the moment. And she's like, what can I do to save this?
Nothing.
Wait, she's asking for help to save this.
She's asking for help to save this marriage. Yes. Guess what, bitch? You can't do anything. You single-handedly destroyed your marriage. And then the fact that she comes out and says, well, she's an ex, or I resent it. You resented a dead person. This man made accommodations to make you feel loved in your own way. He bought you a separate house that you would make memories on your own. And then you say, I didn't lie to him. For 2 years, you hid that you had thrown those pictures. But hold on, it gets a little bit better. Not only did she throw those pictures away, she went onto the computer that had pictures and deleted the images.
Shut the front
that had the
door.
And so now that little girl who's now grown does not have pictures of her and her mom because she was a insecure, immature bitch.
Biatch.
How do y'all feel about that?
Man, that makes me angry.
Oh my God, it breaks my heart. It makes me angry. I'm what the heck?
That's how we were.
Sandy?
We were just like, how dare you? And what pissed me off, like even more, is like referring to her as an ex. I'm like, no, ma'am, because guaranteed, based on how everybody talked her up, they would still be married had she not died.
Yep. Wow.
I feel so bad for him too, right? Because I would imagine that he is probably kicking himself on some level, right? Where he's thinking, what in the world did I do to deserve this from the woman I thought, or maybe he still does, I don't know, but just going with normal stuff. The woman who I loved, who I asked to marry me on one side, but on the other side, completely eviscerated my, what in the world?
Oh, dogs are getting fed.
Oh, okay. But completely eviscerated my life. I don't even know what to say. My history with my wife, or
your history. But, she just took that all away.
And but
she took away the memories.
It was like
it was for her to take.
Yeah.
Like she had any right to it.
Right.
Ew, and then to go on the computer, like I could. Let me say, I can't get it, but if there was, what's that word? When you're like, if we give the benefit of the doubt, huge benefit of the doubt, right? The pictures, I don't know, but to get on the computer and remove those, like that was some extra level nastiness right there.
It was extra level,
super extra.
She doesn't feel that way.
Of a deceased woman. Think about that. Say that to yourself.
Yeah,
that lady wasn't going to come back. That lady wasn't going to come back and do nothing to you.
Nothing.
Those pictures did nothing to you.
Right. And removing the pictures still didn't do anything. People still thought highly of her.
And now, just so you know, no one will ever think that highly of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh my gosh.
There's nothing that you can do. Yeah. You can sacrifice all your organs.
Yeah. No.
There's no way.
Oh my gosh.
I called her the C word.
Wow.
And I never use that word.
Yeah.
I never use that word.
It's crazy how like the England, the Brits throw that word around like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They throw it around like it's just another
like bench.
And they use it for what, like the implication that we would mean, like as far as a curse word.
So for us, it's like the next level. For them, it's more like damn. It's like it's like low level. For Americans, it's like top notch. Like
I'm going to use that word when if Dr. Pineapple and I ever get over there. She's going to be like, what? I'll be like, well, Joe said, and that'll be the thing. Joe and Sandy said, and then everybody there is going to be don't.
Sandy did not say that was normal. Joe said that was normal.
For the Brits, you're not British.
let me hear you trying to catch an accent with that word.
Forget y'all. No way.
So here we have some comments coming in. Okay. Nope, dump that lady fast. Oh, I want to throw hands with this woman. You and everybody else. It was an overwhelming.
Did she get an answer? Did she post an update?
Not that I saw. Look at Chon. She asked. And that right there is why I was afraid of the casserole ladies after my dad died. And then Chon said, she a big ass. Sylvia says, Sandy, that's the same word I was thinking of. Sylvia, I promise you, I never use that word. I reserve it for special people. And that lady won that award. I mean, we were
I've
so
never heard
mad.
Sandy
I
use that
felt
word
like
either. I've
I
never
felt
heard her
like
say
it was so personal. I really felt I felt that deep in my soul for some reason.
It's
I
so
want to know
crazy.
how he's doing. Gosh, I
why
hate
would
stories
you-
like this because I want more. I'm so bad.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm the same way.
like, especially from her daughter. You're taking not only
Oh,
from
right. Yes.
you're taking it away from the daughter, which had nothing to do with you.
Did she give her daughter,
Mhm.
her stepdaughter, her now previous stepdaughter? I wonder if she gave her the TikTok account so she could see the video too.
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. I have no
Oh,
idea.
Sandy, this
But
one.
yeah, I wanted y'all to be mad like we were. I'm telling you, we like stood over this. It was the whole drive. We were just like, what? And we were cussing the whole time. I'm like, can you believe that?
I'm gonna be talking to Dr. Pineapples about it later.
That because I would like to know what type of mentality goes to that level where you think
I think it's like what Sandy said. Someone who's she lacked
Immature and
she lacked
insecure.
maturity. She's super insecure, which
Right.
now it just makes me wonder other things, about her. It's like,
And then, like, I feel like this man, after knowing that he lost, like, he's grieving his wife again because he doesn't have those
right,
mementos anymore.
yeah. Man,
jeez.
that brings up some like all those memories that you like, hey, I can look back on one day
Yeah.
are like totally gone.
And and I've met people who have remarried after losing their spouse, and I don't think I've ever, and I don't know a lot, so it's not like any expert opinion kind of whatever, but the few that I know, I don't think I've ever seen or felt that type of level about the deceased spouse of their current spouse. You know what I'm saying? I think I've always seen just what I would say is just a healthy level of respect for their previous
You
marriage.
have to. I mean, come on. It's not like he hid it from you that he was married. I mean, you knew. You
Right.
absolutely knew.
And I've even seen, there's this one couple I'm thinking of where he has talked about his previous wife in front of his current wife, and his current wife is she doesn't seem like she minds it, and she understands. She seems like she's accepting of it. She gets it, and I applaud it because I'm like, man, that I can't imagine either situation for
Like an
that
ex
has been her.
situation is different.
Yes, I agree with you on that. We should not be.
that you
we
can have
should not be
conversations
mourning.
with. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should not be mourning our exes.
Someone that has passed away for whatever reason, and you're still jealous of that person.
You're a
What?
special kind of.
You're a special kind of dipshit.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That's why I brought my word out of reserve. I'm like, no, that's what she is.
So,
and it's funny because Eric was like, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I could never say the word. I think I could never say the word, but I would definitely use some words too.
If I was in England, I sure could.
Oh my god!
Right. So you're getting a lot of. Everybody thinks that she's evil. She's just evil all the way to her core. I feel like you're right. That's just something that came out in her that's been in there.
I don't know. I wouldn't say. I don't know, because for someone like him to find her and marry her when he had someone who was so upstanding, right? Like, have you ever seen that?
You put on a show. Come on, when you're dating, you put on a hell of a show.
I'll say this. I don't know if so. Have you ever talked with couples or people of an older age and how they date and get married and stuff now? Like, I don't know if I would follow in that same line now, but with the few that I've met, it's a very quick kind of situation. It's a very quick scenario. They're not. They know what they want. They know their lifestyles. They're very open about all that stuff. And it's like, do you want to? Yeah. Do you want to? Sure. Okay. Let's get married.
Well, CBJ's comment is it kind of addresses that.
My dad always saw the absolute best in everyone, everyone's best friend, and here is a shirt off my back kind of guy. Trust everyone. I think he would have had the wool over his eyes and not seen the evil if that kind of person walked into his life after my mom died. Call me crazy, but I can't say that one of the reasons I'm glad God went ahead and called him home.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good point.
Because if you've only known good in your whole life, and then if something tragic happens, and then
Oh.
you're really wanting to have that trust with anybody that comes into your
Or there's
life.
no reason not to trust.
There's no reason not to trust them.
That makes sense. Yeah, and I'm not blaming him at all, right? I'm not saying he has any whatever, but that CPJ's point actually.
You think that would like be a huge red flag.
Well, you know what is weird sometimes in other relationships where I've seen in that scenario, I'm like, they're nothing like their previous spouse. I'm like, and I try hard not to make further judgments or anything else. I don't, Sandy, because I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, but this person is not like the previous spouse. Not to say that they needed to be, but I was just like,
that's different.
Okay, that's yeah. And I love this person. The new person is great. The few that I've run into that scenario, they're great. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just kind of like, they're not like the old. That's just weird. It's just
that was fun. That was fun. It's time to go.
Enjoyed it. Sorry, I got so serious there.
I know that was all like, oh
yeah.
We didn't even get to talk about the stupid gender reveal, Sandy. I didn't get to be mad about something else. Or the tipping.
You were mad enough for this. We'll say
that's true.
For next time.
Okay, that's.
And you made Sandy plenty mad too, so that was good.
Yeah.
not my best moment. I'm not proud of that one. So
he was trying to slip on Addie about it.
Not necessarily slip, but I would have rather much reserved my hurts for appropriate topics.
Right,
so
exactly.
If that's a thing.
All right,
perfect.
Everybody. Thanks for being on here. Thanks for all your comments. And hey, okay, so I'm hoping I'm going to have a show tomorrow night, okay?
I'm excited.
And so we're going to be do some updates on some stuff that's going on right now. And
is it going to be a bonus long episode like our episodes here? Or is it just a regular 1 hour episode?
Just a regular, because I've got some prior commitments that I completely forgot about. Because that's how it goes. Anyway, so y'all, I'll post my thing and y'all get on there and comment, okay?
Yep.
And the
what
24th, when Cindy's comes on, 9 p.m. tomorrow. And then Cindy's show comes on the 24th, her podcast. So I'll be sure to tune into that too. True Hauntings.
You'll find it at True Hauntings.
Yep.
Cynthia, put True Hauntings website or wherever people can go watch into the comments, okay? Yes, can't wait either. All right, everyone, we love you. Have a great weekend, and we will see you here next week.
Don't be burning people's pictures.
For real, though.